Welcome to the Week 3 MLS Power Rankings. I'm here with my co-host, Tony. We've got our top 10, Tony. We're starting to feel it out. We're starting to see the teams that are showing a little bit more. I think we're seeing some top-end series teams. And then once again, I think this 7 to 10 range is going to be pretty fluid here for the next couple of weeks until we start seeing some teams really claim these spots going forward.
Yeah, and I think we can go ahead and just save everyone the trouble. We're putting Montreal at number one. That was the best performance we've seen all year.
Yeah. I considered it. I really did consider them putting them 10th as a joke. All jokes aside, I really did want to see what your reaction would be if I just pulled that out of the bag there. All jokes aside, though, let's jump into this. Number 10, a team that I think has shown a lot more the past couple of weeks, and they're surprisingly showing more. I'm going to put RSL at 10. They're one of the few teams that have that 6 or more points line right now. There's really only like 10 teams that do have 6 or more points. So this top 10, I don't think is super complicated right now. And once again, this is a top 10 of current form in the league. So that's where we're basing this off of. RSL, offensive talent has been showcased the past couple weeks. And I think that's good for them because they've really struggled to have that consistently with their signings the past few years. And without Diego Luna, for them to be in this position so far, getting a road win in Atlanta, scoring 3 goals, I think for me it's a no-brainer to have them in that 10 slot at least.
Yeah, no Diego Luna and no Yedlin. So I think that's a big...
My go. Yeah.
Yeah, right. There you go. That's a big swing, and the kids are getting it done. And I think what that means, and ideally how that looks for RSL, is when these veterans come back. I call Diego Luna a veteran, but like when your mainstays come back, then you can lean on the kids as the bench appearance. Like that you have good options to pull off of like into your depth, and I think that's the big thing for RSL is that we've not felt that way about a team like them in a while. On top of throwing in Gulavogi, who's so far so good as being their fresh DP, I think that's fair to put them in a top 10. And I'll reserve any other judgments until we start ranking the rest of these, and we'll see if RSL should go higher or lower. But okay. I'll leave it at that. Yeah.
The next team I have on here, I also think I don't think you'll have too many problems with in that 9 slot is the Seattle Sounders, a team that won and just got that 1-0 win on the road. Didn't necessarily look the best version of Seattle in that game, but we know the Seattle injury thing that's going on right now and guys not playing. I think for them just to get results at this point is impressive, especially on the road in a home league like the MLS. You see guys still performing. They sat basically all the way back, let them come at them, and they just countered and were able to get a goal that way. So credit to them that they do just transform week to week. You really don't know how they're going to play, and a lot of times that they're able to pull that right lever, and they were able to do that again this week. And I think out of respect for what they could be, but also in current form in that 9 slot in the top 10.
Yeah, I think week 2 erasure here is pretty crazy because the RSL kids just beat the Seattle guys last week. But I'll let you carry on. We'll keep going for now.
Yeah, no, I get it. Head-to-head needs to matter. I understand it. Yeah. That can be a good gripe. In the 8 slot, a team that has impressed the past 2 weeks offensively, benefited off a red card this week. I have the Colorado Rapids, Tony. They make a jump in the actual standings for Sports Shield over these 2 teams, and they're scoring goals right now. Of course, the Gabriel Peck red card benefits them, helps them because that was a very competitive game going into that. But I think even them competing with Galaxy at that point makes me feel positive about them. I don't know how this is going to shake out to be a full season for them in terms of what they're able to do. But right now, in the way they've been looking the past 2 weeks, I think they're rightfully deserving to be in this slot and have shown enough offensively, which I had big question marks going into this, that makes me a little hopeful about what this team could be this year, even without Paxton Aronson quite hitting the heights we want to see from him.
If we're going to be doing like the college football wheel where it's like so-and-so lost to so-and-so, so that means that, so-and-so is better than that. If we're going to do that, which I guess we're already rolling now. I mean, Seattle throttled Colorado week 1.
That was 2 weeks ago, Tony. We live in a different world now.
This is all backwards. This is driving me crazy.
We live in a different world.
Yeah, I mean, outside of that, though, I'm not as bullish on Colorado as you are. Just because, I mean, to me, I just have not seen enough out of them to think that the way that they're going to attack, the way that they're going to activate Paxton Aronson is going to be consistent enough to really cause some problems, especially in the short term. I mean, like you said, it was a good game against the Galaxy before the red card even, but it was after the red card when everything opened up for them. And so, like, I don't want to get too carried away in that recent result with this one, but it is a power ranking, so maybe I'm supposed to. I don't know.
Yeah, you can be upset. Throw a fit
Yeah,
if you
I'm
want to throw a fit.
livid. I'm livid.
I don't think we'll have much to like dispute on this next one, Tony.
You were
Coming in the
hovering
seventh
DC
slot.
United. That was crazy.
What'd you say?
You were hovering DC United.
No,
That
no,
was
no, no,
crazy.
no, 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 no. NYCFC, I have in the seventh slot. A team I was not high on. I admitted to this in our podcast. I was very low on them coming into the year. I think the injury and not getting a true nine coming in concerned me. And they go and they win at home in a dominant fashion, 5-0. Yes, another red card. There was a lot of red cards in the MLS this week that helped benefit that one. But I think for them to do it in the way they did against Orlando, and Maxi Morales just keeps doing it, dude. The guy might be the best story in the MLS minus Messi. If you just say like what this Argentinian old dude is doing is crazy, and I think it's super impressive, and I think that once again there's going to be a team that's going to break someone's heart in the playoffs because they do it every year.
I'm gonna do it again. New York City tied the Galaxy. The Galaxy just got throttled by Colorado. It's not making sense for me. It's
Yeah,
not adding
NYCFC,
up.
they were on the road. They were on the
They were
road.
they
Come
were on
on.
the road. They were.
Week
I
one,
mean,
West Coast on the road. Come on.
transitive property aside, I think that they are a strong team for what they are right now. So I think there is a lot of optimism for knowing that like where they are at is certainly not a finished product, and yet they still have 7 points out of 3 games. So
Hmm.
I do like that part of that. That they're just a team that's just not going to go away unless, like I said in the last podcast, that they get hit with another ACL. It's pretty important. I think that there's a lot to be hopeful for with them.
Totally. Number 6 here. I think you like this team. I have Nashville. Um, I went back and forth with them in 5 and 6. If I'm being honest. You know, you're gonna hate the number
Wow.
5. I already know it. But they had the one game that they haven't won was Sam Surge not playing, and I think that's what
Mm.
you can point to and say this team can even be in the top 4 based on that argument. So I think this offense is one of the more dynamic in the MLS. They showcased it again. Sam Surge is going to be up there for top goal scorer in the league, and Espinoza gets on the score sheet. And that three-headed monster is going to make waves as long as they're healthy. And as long as they're healthy, this team is going to be in this top 10 of the power rankings probably for most of the season just because of what they can do and how they can just outscore teams. And they showcased it again this past week and had me in at number 6 slot. I think they could be higher over this next team. You're not going to like very much what I did with the next team, but I think it's still fair to have them where they are in this range in terms of what this team will be now and going forward.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I thought you were higher on them than this. Like I was kind of expecting like a top 3 or 4 for you.
Oh,
From I mean,
oh, no.
because
Well,
I think are
okay.
yeah
I'm that high in them as for a full season, but I
okay
think there's teams ahead of them right now that I'm more impressed, minus the Miami rule, that I'm more impressed with just from right now in terms of what they've done this season and a storyline aspect of it is more probably what's getting me at this point.
okay. Well, I'll tell you to move them up when we get into the full
This next
layout
one
here. But
probably,
yeah,
yeah.
oh god, oh god,
We
here
got
we
the
go.
San Jose Earthquakes, Tony, at number 5. We got to do it.
This is
I know
rage
you can.
bait.
No, okay, you could say that. This
Yeah.
team's 3-0, and they haven't allowed a freaking goal, Tony. You can't argue with what they've done on the field. I know the competition hasn't been the greatest. I totally get it. But what they've done, and stats wise, they deserve to be in this top 5 because they are the only team not allowed a goal, and they're the only team not allowed a goal and be 3-0. So I credit to them. San Jose Earthquakes, they've been playing great. Enjoy the times now. Bruce Arena year 2 bump. Enjoy it now. I'm telling you, for week 3 power rankings, enjoy it now because they will not be here all year long. Enjoy it, Tony. Just drink it in. just jump on the bandwagon. Join me. We'll just thrive. This is like Vancouver of last year. We'll just thrive in the San Jose Earthquakes.
Folks, don't let them trick you right now. They have not allowed a goal to the literally the worst three teams in the league right now in Sporting Kansas
Oh,
City, Atlanta, and now Philadelphia.
okay.
Like
I've watched
it's
teams allow goals to those teams. Has San Jose? Nope.
no, sure, but this is like the Weenie Hut Juniors of a schedule right now for San Jose. That like
You could say that about
I'm
San Diego, who's coming up too.
but here's the thing about
That's
San
good.
Diego's they've already have like a track record. San Jose does not. There's got to be a regression in the mean here. I just think that while their underlying numbers don't suggest them being bad, I don't think they suggest them being this good either. And that's where I kind of fall off with, just the personnel carousel that we had at San Jose. They are really not supposed to be this good. And I think that the schedule just is the clear and obvious answer to why they have won every game and not
Hey,
conceded a goal yet.
you play who's in front of you, Tony. And right now, the San Jose
That I
Earthquakes
mean,
are playing who are in front of
and
them and they're
that's
winning
fine,
games.
but that's fine. But Miami University played who's in front of them, and they still might not make March Madness. So
Okay, that's true. But right now, San Jose is going to make the tournament, make the playoffs from where they're
make the
at. And
tournament. They're
I I
dancing.
I love what they're doing, and I'm gonna enjoy it now because yes, I'm sure someone's gonna walk in and kick their butt. And guess what, Tony? When that happens, I'll take him out of the top 10. I'll take him out. But right now,
And then we'll
for
make
week
another
three,
episode for bottom 10. You'll put them in that.
oh, that should be your segment, the bottom 10 of
Okay.
the
That's
MLS.
what I'll do. Yeah.
Well, we'll do that going forward. Give me your bottom 10 teams. Tony's the
Okay.
Spoon Watch rankings. That's
Spoon
yes,
Watch Power Rankings. That's amazing.
yeah.
All right.
Number four, I think these top four, Tony, you will not complain with. I think
Yeah,
this is a
probably
lot
not.
of teams' top four. I think it's not really disputable unless you want to throw Nashville in that mix if we're just talking about the best teams in the league right now. Number four, I have Miami. They have the one loss to LAFC, and I am dropping them in the standings right now, actually, from last week's power rankings. So they they win 2-1 on the road against DC. A DC side that's I think is going to be better than last year, but still not a great side, and I think can still show more. And they really had to pull out a win out of their butt out of against Orlando. So it hasn't looked like the best version of Miami. It's still Miami. It's my rule that I'm breaking in my power rankings, saying what are they doing for me right now? Miami gets to break that rule because we all know Miami will continue to be in the top five because they're going to be one of the best teams in MLS all year long.
Yeah, I mean they've shown some cracks in the armor in that DC game. Obviously, that loss to LAFC, like in terms of just points that they've accumulated compared to their neighbors here in this power rankings, they're not up there with them. So I think it's understandable to put them at four. I I waver on if they should be at three or not, but I'm not certain of that myself. I think that's kind of debatable. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm okay with them at that four spot.
Okay, I like that. That was good
Yeah.
feedback that time. Uh, moving on to the third slot here, we have San Diego, and I had them at two last week. I think this team and the next team are very interchangeable in my mind. So just pick your poison. I think it's more just a response to week three. What did I see week three? I saw San Diego put together an okay performance against Kansas City, still get the win on the road. Like, I don't want to take anything away from them for that, but not your normal San Diego goal performance. They struggled to really create a ton of quality chances against SKC, and were able to get the one because Dryer's awesome. We talk about that all the time. He's just incredible. So I have him at three, and I'll explain why the other team's at two once we get there. But I think this is still a fair ranking for San Diego at this point this season.
Yeah, I think so too. Though now that I like physically see the San Diego badge over Miami, I'm like, wow, are we serious right now? uh, but I think that that the head is aligning there with the heart and just saying that this is really a team that is controlling games. I know you said you can make the argument with San Diego as far as weak schedule, just like San Jose. And I agree. I mean, the only difference is Montreal and St. Louis. They also just played Sporting Kansas City. So there's part of that, but the difference is, at least between that, is that they're throttling the bad teams, with the exception of last week. But you're not going to get that in every game with any
Hmm.
team ever. Number one power rank. I mean,
Yeah,
I know where you're going with number one. They only won by 1 goal this week, so
totally.
um, that's the kind of thing where I'm like, I don't know if you can be that harsh on them. And I think this is also putting them at 3 is not so much of their detriment versus this is just the how good these top 2 teams are right now. So
Yeah, yeah.
we'll leave it for now. Yeah.
Number 3, moving them from 2 to 3. I mean, that's like you're like, oh, that's insulting. I mean, they're 2 to 3. It's not like they're being
Yeah.
dropped
Yeah. What a
significantly,
slap in the face.
and more has to do with what the second team did this week, and that is Vancouver. That the way they went into Portland and just throttled Portland was really impressive to me. This attack is clicking right now, and I talked about it in the podcast. Sebastian Berhalter continues just to be one of the best midfielders in the league, and it's really impressive to see how they just keep developing talent around these top guys on this roster. And I think you've got to give him number 2 slot, maybe even just because of that Scott Sterling ass goal that Tristan Blackman scored off of his nose. So credit to Vancouver. They went into Portland, they throttled Portland, and I think that's just why I interchanged these teams right now. And if they keep winning, I think it might just be week by week. Hey, who impressed me this past week more between these couple of top 4 teams? And that's you're going to see the change. I think right now these 4 teams are the most impressive to me. And if you want to throw Nashville in the mix, if they continue what they're doing, like it's going to be those 5 uh, that I'm going to fairly confidently say that I'm going to feel like going to keep seeing all year long. And I think they're all going to be in the mix here come playoff time.
Yeah, I think that, well, our power rankings will get some help when Nashville and Miami play each other twice in the span of a week.
Yeah.
So we'll get some good data on that one. Um, but for Vancouver, I mean, like you said, that was a very impressive win. Portland's kind of in the dumps, but all the right people were showing up for Vancouver in that game. Another name we haven't mentioned with Vancouver that I think is worth mentioning is AZ Jackson. He doesn't score in this one, but I think he's been kind of on the pulse with a lot of the good chance creation that Vancouver's had. Um, Kind of being the Jaden Nelson replacement, except for
Mm-hmm.
like trusted full time starter. I think that they've really plugged in and not missed a beat with that signing, which has helped Vancouver kind of carry their last year's momentum straight into this year. So, no, I like a lot of things about this Vancouver team, and kind of just like a few of these teams now, just waiting for them to have like a really solid matchup to kind of get a true test on them.
Yeah, totally. It's been fun to watch this Vancouver side, and these teams will start playing each other, and that's when you're gonna be able to really distinguish power rankings. Even though these bottom 3 in my top 10 all kind of played similar teams to an extent, and I had it backwards according to you, so we'll forget about that.
Yeah.
Number 1 slot, team that was number 1 last week is LAFC. I think yes, we talked about it. Lackluster performance, still got it done at home. I still have the Miami result in the back of my head and what they did to Miami week 1, which is why I keep
Yep.
them there. And I think that's fair for me to do that. I think that this side is still impressive, and they have depth besides Son of Belonga to get results, and that was David Martinez this week, getting the goal for them to get them across the line. So credit to them. They still got it done, and I think a lot of people are going to agree that that's the number 1 team in the league right now.
Yeah. And I mean, this one we can also, like, I don't think this is a joke, but like, I mean, they also have not had been scored on. And like, we're talking about going against Miami and FC Dallas, which are, better credited teams for that.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that's part of it. And, I've mentioned this a few times, but I am just really impressed with their ability to break through. I mean, they're just clearly like a big favorite this year, and I think a lot of teams approach their game with LAFC now and say, "Hey, we're underdogs here. Let's sit back and try and counter." And while that certainly doesn't play into LAFC's strong suit, they have found ways to break that down and still score goals and still get the results. So I think that's why they are deservedly in that number 1 spot. Yes, that Miami throttling is a huge accolade for them, but just on top of that, like these following weeks, they've broken down just a variety of different looks that have been thrown at them. So I think they're deservedly number 1.
Yeah, I agree. Well, there you have it. My week 3 power rankings. If you disagree, get in the comment section. Let me know that. Please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. You guys liked the last Power Kings episode, so we're going to keep doing this. It's fun to do, fun to get a gauge on the league and do this little quick video for you guys. So please interact, like, subscribe, and continue to follow the channel for more content. With that being said, we will see you guys next week for week 4 Power Rankings.